Welcome to the next part of the theory. So we're going to look at the impact of ICT in businesses. Right, what I want you to do now is to draw a mind map and write down why you think businesses use ICT. Hit pause and then continue when you're ready. Okay, so here's some ideas that I had of why businesses may use IT. First of all, there's the speed. So all data can be stored, processed and searched really fast, like customer addresses, details, suppliers, that kind of thing. So even search on the internet. Next one is simply volume. So ICT has cut down on vast amounts of paperwork. So things can now be stored on computers and retrieved when needed, and there's no need to archive any details in boxes, filing cabinets or anything along those lines. So it's just less paperwork overall. So one time you would have seen rooms like this stored with huge amounts of paperwork, but now everything can be stored in databases, and if you need to search for anything, you can just simply use queries. Then there's just simple things like saving wages. So here you can see this is a McDonald's, possibly a drive-through or in their restaurant. So rather than actually speaking to a member of staff and ordering what you need, you can just go onto the computer, select what you want, and it saves on wages. And then there's connection of people around the world. So where you can share data online, you can email data to people, you can hold video conferencing, and you don't even have to leave the office to do any of this. So we're going to look on effects of ICT on employment, continuing, and why businesses use ICT. So what effects has it had on employment? So as I said in the last one, robots can achieve more work than a human. It's that simple. They can work faster, they can work more hours, they don't need any holidays, and they don't need weekends. And you can keep production going 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So automation of robots in factories. So robots are doing the work of people. It's that simple. Teleworking allows you to work from home. More jobs for IT specialists. This is allowed. So more people basically trained up in IT because it's allowed more work. Factories no longer really need humans. So it's decreased labour roles, and they don't need people to file or print anything anymore because everything is on a computer, and only one person needs to use a computer. So this has had an impact on more training, really, because ICT moves at a very, very fast base. So every time new systems are put into place, it takes time and it takes money to train people. And there's fewer face-to-face meetings. The good thing about this is that there's reduced time travel, there's reduced cost, so you don't need to pay for anybody's flight to fly across the world, and you don't need to pay for anybody's hotel room when they can just simply sit in a room and use Skype. Obviously, the negative impact this can have is basically it does take away that personal feeling, okay, maybe talking people to face. So it does forget the human factor in things. So areas where jobs have been created. So ICT may have lost people their jobs or may have changed people's jobs, but it has created jobs. So we need network managers. Computers are networked in schools, in offices, and we need people to manage these networks to make sure they run smoothly and they're secure. Web designers. There's huge demand for websites, both personal and business, and systems analysts, so they can actually be responsible for designing new IT systems and keeping things up to date and up to speed. Programmers, so we need people to program games, we need people to program software. New software is constantly being thought of, things that you would never have considered before. And computer engineers, so we need people to build high-tech computer systems that we need to do, that we use all the time. We use them in schools, we use them in offices, big businesses use them, large businesses use them, so we do need these people to help us. But people have lost jobs. Manual repetitive tasks that would have once been done in factories. So, for example, spraying, welding, packing, assembling. These have been replaced by robots. Humans would have done them. They would have done the same thing day in, day out, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, all the time. But now we can program a robot to do it and do it much quicker. Shop work. There's a number of online shops, such as Amazon. They don't need stores in the high street. They don't need stores in shopping centres. So they basically need people working in factories. And also, there are supermarkets that are doing more online shopping than ever. The first supermarket in England to do online shop was Iceland's. And Iceland's did want to become fully online. And they, at one time, I remember I worked for them when I was a student, they did actually stop employing people at one point. Bank cashiers. The use of ATMs has reduced the need for bank cashiers and online banking, of course. And also, people tend to use ATMs and online banking, and because banks tend to only be open when we're working. Office work. So, traditional typists and filers have now been replaced by computers. And some people that once worked in offices doing various jobs have actually offered their services online. So now businesses and people that work from home can email any work that needs to be done. And there's people that are self-employed and will do the work online for you. Telephone exchange. We dial our own numbers. We speak to people using WhatsApp. We speak to people using Facebook. We do not need to actually have a phone number anymore. One time you would have picked up the phone and someone would have been on the other end of it and said, which number would you like to be connected to? We no longer do that. Library work. Now with the launch of ebooks, and you can even pay people like Amazon Prime, you can borrow books from an online library. Okay, so hit pause and give this exam question a go. Also, to help you, you can actually take a look at the mark scheme here. What mistakes have you made? Basically, low-level marks, you would have just simply shown one side of the argument and wrote down a whole bunch of advantages and disadvantages that may be very simplistic. You can back up your arguments to get 4 to 6 marks. So maybe your points may be limited. There could be one side of the argument, but you may conclude. But if you show both sides of the argument and consider different advantages and disadvantages, maybe the issues will be justified. So give this another go, hit pause. Okay, so look at the full mark scheme here. Did you mention any of these points? Did you improve your work? Hit pause, try this exam question. Okay, how did you do? 6 from advantages and disadvantages from the bank. Okay, so look at both of those and look at the customer's point of view as well. So 2 marks from each. Thank you. Okay, look at my next online tutorial.